So boys and girls, I'm really excited today because we're starting one of my favorite topics in multiplication, or excuse me, in math, which is division.
Division? No way.
Really? I can't believe that. You guys are that smart.
You guys just learned multiplication. You're going to learn division?
It's just the opposite.
No way. You guys can't do division.
It's just the opposite.
I don't know.
Okay.
You think?
Yeah.
William, can you just hit one light for me? I don't know if that's going to do anything. Okay. Okay.
You want this one?
Yeah, I'd say that one would be better. All right, so ready in 5, ready in 4, ready in 3, ready in 2, and ready in 1. So our eyes need to be up here. So I'm like really excited because I am a math person. I love math, but I love division because it's really cool. So we're going to talk about our introduction to division today. And our objective, our focus today, we're going to try to understand, and I know you guys are going to be really good at this, the meaning of the unknown as the size of the group in division. So that's where we're going to start. And then we're going to continue throughout the months ahead. But before we do that, we want to kind of go back because we spent like the last month and a half, 2 months on multiplication. And I wonder, do you think there's a connection? Raise your hand if you think there might be a connection between multiplication and division. Thumbs up if you think there's a connection. Okay, thumbs down if you say, no way, Mrs. Drake. They're totally two different things. Thumbs in the middle if you're saying, I'm not quite sure, but hopefully you'll tell me. All right, that's fair. Okay, so we're going to find out today. Good. All right, so what I'd like us to talk about, we're going to go a little bit back and let's do a little review, okay? There is a connection, hopefully we're going to get there and we're going to find out. But let's start with our multiplication arrays, okay? And remember when we did multiplication, boys and girls, what is multiplication really? What's another way that we say multiplication? What is it, Miles?
Repeated addition.
It's repeated addition. That's what it is. So if we look at this array, what do you think, and Mrs. Drake has to do one thing to help you out here. If I do this, and I apologize ahead of time. I know this won't work if I don't do this. If I did this, and of course, that's going to happen too. If I did that, can you write down on your whiteboards, what is the repeated addition sentence for that array that is up on the smart board? Write down what you think, cover it, because I don't want you to show anybody. No, I just want you to write the repeated addition sentence, because your classmate nicely said, Mrs. Drake, multiplication is just repeated addition. So write me the repeated addition sentence that I just showed you with that array. And then cover it, because I don't want you sharing yet. Okay? And when I see everyone's board covered, then I'm going to have you share with your table group. Don't share yet.
Try it. It's okay.
Just try it. And again, we're going to take a risk. That's why we're refreshing our memories a little bit.
Let's reward those risk takers.
Absolutely.
It is okay if it's wrong.
Yes, and that's why we review it. Okay. You're going to mark a tally. Okay. Okay. Raise your hand if you need more time.
You're going to write a number sentence
Okay.
that represents.
Okay. Now, Mrs. Drake circled 3 items. Remember that. Look at within the 3 items what Mrs. Drake circled. That may help your repeated addition sentence. That's all I'm saying to you. I'm going to give people another 15 seconds. And then you're gonna share with your table, so it's okay. Well, don't erase it yet until you share.
Well, if you want to change things up, you
Change it. Oh no, erase it. Change it.
My desk so no one sees it.
Wait, I'm gonna keep that one.
Okay. All right. What I'd like you to do in your table groups, I want you to show what you wrote and explain to each other, kind of find a buddy in your table group and explain to each other why you wrote what you wrote. And hands on head when you all had a chance to share. Go ahead.
Okay, can we be a group of
We'll just go here. That's all right. Okay, so
I wrote this because there's 3 groups.
and what did you do, JK? Why don't you just share all together?
2 plus 2.
Equals what?
I didn't write it.
Close. Keep going though. So I want you listening. Everyone listen. That's okay, but I want you to listen to other people because this is going to help. But I want you to listen.
Because 3 plus times 2 is 6, so the other would be 3 plus 2.
Okay, so what I want you to look at what you wrote here. 3 plus 2 equals 6. 3 plus 2. Okay, so what?
I know.
Try again. Here's 3. Right? Add 2 more.
5.
Okay, so then it can't be that. So erase that for a minute. So Peyton, I want you to explain to your table why you wrote your wrote. So I'm going to be quite honest with you. JP's right with the multiplication fact, but your girl Peyton there is absolutely correct with what I asked. So Peyton, can you explain to everybody? And Jaylee is right with the addition sentence, but not according to the array. But you did a great job because you took a risk, and I'm proud of you. So Peyton, I want you to explain to your table why you chose that, and I'm going to come back and check in on you guys.
Because
You're right in the
she
multiplication, but not in the
circled
first
2
one.
in each group.
Okay, so guys,
So,
did
3
you?
times.
Okay, so
See
you
from
all got
there?
that?
Yeah,
Okay.
all of us.
And did you all explain it?
Yeah.
Okay, so get ready, because I may be calling on one of you. Okay. Now, were you all able to agree? Yep. Was there? Okay. So, no, what does this mean for you? Is that the repeated addition? Okay. What is that? That's the what? What kind of sentence is that?
A multiplication.
That's your multiplication sentence. Okay. All right. Come stays with you. Okay.
This is gotcha.
I did the times it would equal it.
You could do, but could you do 2 times 3? That equals 6.
All right. You're gonna be prepared to share. So that's good. But you took a good rest. So I'm very proud of you guys. All right.
What did you write?
Okay, back in 5, back in 4, back in 3, back in 2, and back in 1. Eyes and ears on me. Okay, I am going to call on 2 people to explain. And I have, I'm going to probably go 1 and 1 here, because what I heard here, I definitely heard 1 here, and I know Mrs. Anastasia heard a friend over on her side. So, Peyton, can you start? Because Peyton was really proactive and kind of was able to explain to her group what she put down. So I'm going to let Peyton start. So Peyton, can you kind of explain to everybody what you wrote? And why don't you come up on the whiteboard here and write it down for everybody? And then you're going to explain your thinking behind it, and then Mrs. Anastasia can call her person, and then he or she can explain. Okay, so I want you to face your audience. So explain, why do you feel that's the repeated addition sentence?
Because she circled 3 groups with 2 in each group. So it should be 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6.
Okay, good job. Okay, good. Awesome. Okay, Mrs. A.
Rodrigo, do you want to add anything to that for Peyton?
There was some people here who might have had a different
Jack,
Yeah?
Jack, he put 2 times 2 times 2. And when I saw that, then I didn't really understand it because then you would get 8.
No.
Yes?
No, 2 times, like,
2 times 2 times 2.
2 times 3 is 6. And that's 2 rows of 3. So 3 times 2 is 6. He's right. That's another way to do it. Multiplication.
So-
Or addition.
So Jack, I want you to talk about it.
Yeah, you
'cause
talk about what you're
Jack,
thinking.
Jack had a good insight on this one. What do you think, Jack?
That's interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I just decided to put multiplication. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
And then
I
why
wrote
did
it
you
down.
change it? You had a really good insight on why you changed it.
Because it answered 8.
So you think it does answer 8. How come? Why does 2 times 2 times 2 equal 8?
Can I say? Do you want me to say? Because 2 times 2 is 4, and then you would add another 2 times, and then it would equal 8.
So 2 times 2 is 4, and then you would multiply the 4 by,
2,
and that equals?
8.
Okay, so then you changed your mind, and what do you think the answer should be for the
2
repeated
plus
addition?
2 plus 2,
And that equals?
6.
Good. Okay. So I think you kind of already led to my next question then. So can somebody tell me, I won't make you write it to save us a little time, but what would be the multiplication fact then? Finish my multiplication fact. It would be 3 times what, everyone?
2.
2. Perfect. So what I'd like you to do, erase your whiteboard, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. Good job, guys. A lot of great thinking, I heard.
Really good job, you two.
Good job. And you all got positives just for taking risks and really just doing a nice job with your conversation, so I was very proud of you. All right, keep your thinking caps on. Keep them on. Okay, William, can you read this problem out loud to everybody?
The string students hold a. Wait, is it string?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the string students hold a meeting in Mr. Robinson's classroom. They arrange the chairs in 3 rows of 5. How many chairs are used in all?
Okay. What I would like you to do with your whiteboards, and I'm going to give you a couple, I'm going to say, I want you to solve this problem any way you feel you can, but you have to show some kind of work. Is that fair? You have to show something.
So even if you do it in your head.
Even if you do it in your head,
Put what's on
you
your
have to
head.
show me what was in your head on the whiteboard. Does everyone understand that? Okay. Go ahead, pens down, markers down, after you have the answer.
Turn it over.
And then turn it over so no one sees it.
Cover it up.
Or cover it up somehow.
That's good.
Okay,
So, and my string students in this classroom would appreciate this problem. You're in Mr. Robinson's classroom. You're helping him arrange his room. He needs 3 rows of 5. What would that look like? Make sure you cover it up once you have it. Markers down so I know that you're ready to roll. I said any way you want. So I didn't give you really anything other than any way you want. Your choice. Your choice. Well, I would just say pick one way. Because I'm not giving you a whole lot of time. Okay, so now write the math facts and then give me the answer. Okay? You're in good shape. Let's see. thumbs up if you need more time. If you need more time, I need a thumbs up so I know who needs more time. Okay. Okay. I'm going to give people about 30 seconds to get something written on their whiteboard or put on their whiteboard. Although, Colton, look at that one. Let's think about that one. You want 3 rows of 5. So is that, or is that how many rows of what? This is 3, this is right. But what does this one show? Give me the math fact for this one. This is the turnaround factor, right? But tell me write the math fact for this one. It's a great array. Write me the math fact on it. Then you could talk about that one. Okay. All right, boys and girls. So what I want you to do, this is going to be a really quick share. Somebody nearby at your table group, I want you to share your representation of this problem. Okay? Hands on head when you have shared with one other person. Okay?
Dylan, I
Go. Share.
and Jack.
Well, we're gonna actually work in threes since there's only 3 of you. Otherwise, you'd be by himself. So who was that first?
Me, because
Go ahead, go first.
So I basically
Grace chocolate.
But what are we supposed to do? We all had the same one.
I'll just talk right.
Make sure you're talking.
William,
What did you do, Miss Madison?
also, I guess there's 18.
Okay, so what's the answer?
Wait, William, you added 3 more.
Okay, so how do you know that? What did you actually do? Yes, you did in your head, but how? Okay, so you're gonna write that. I counted my 5. You usually do. You use repeated what? So I think you know what use repeated what? What is that called again? I don't remember. What is that called? What's that called? What you made? I don't remember.
An array.
Oh, okay.
Miss Drake, I made a 15 with the chips, then an array and multiplication checks.
You made a what with the chips?
15.
Okay, well, what's that called?
The number 15.
What's that called? What's the math term for it? A what?
Same as
Nicola just said it.
I already have
This one says a
What is
rock
that
too.
thing that you made? Oh, you made the number 15. That's what you're trying. Oh no, that's not.
What's 3
Okay,
times
so you made
It says a
something
rock
else.
too.
Okay.
Mrs. Drake. See?
That's fine. It's good enough.
Fives are
Oh, the products, by the way.
fives are like
Fine.
the easiest. Fives are.
What did you say?
All right.
I just want
15.
Okay. Great. We are ready in 5. Ready in 4. Ready in 3. Ready in 2. Ready in 1. So since I called on my front 2 tables, I'm going to see if I can get some volunteers from my back 3 tables to help me out. Rebecca, how did you show 3 times 5? Can you share with everybody?
I did a very, very, very tiny array.
Tiny array, okay. So what would your tiny array look like?
3 rows of 5.
Okay, so you decide to draw an array. Okay, is there, and you counted by 5s, good. Is there anybody at Brad Vincenzo's table, anybody here do something different other than draw an array? Okay, Vincenzo, what did you do?
I did 3 times 5 equals 15, and I also wrote 5 times 3 equals
What property is that?
commutative.
Oh, good. Good job. Woo, good job. Right, anybody at this table do something different other than what Vincenzo and Rebecca said? Okay. Brad?
I did division. I did two numbers. I needed to find out what divided by 3 equals 5. So I wrote 2 numbers are in the multiplication as factors, and the product is 2.
Okay.
And I found out what the product was, and then I put it in, and then I put it at one of the ones that I was dividing.
So what's your answer?
5. Oh, the answer is 15 though.
The product is 15. Okay, Nicola?
I made an array out of the chips.
So you use the chips. How many other people use chips? Decide to use the chips? Because I never said you couldn't. So I decided to use the chips. So you made an array out of the chips. How many rows? How many in each row?
5 and 3 rows.
Awesome, good. All right, so what I like everyone to do, eyes and ears here. I like, if you use chips, I want you to put them back in the cup. Thank you. Then I want whiteboards erased. And then we actually, let's talk about it. So can anyone maybe think about why did Mrs. Drake spend maybe about 15 minutes on multiplication? Good job, Brad. That was interesting what you did. That was a very nice job.
And I loved his use of the terminology.
That was awesome. He had the terms down flat. I think he almost taught my lesson. He kind of almost taught my lesson today, but that's good. So he'll be helping me out.
Because you
So-
the fraction if you did it.
Right, if you do, he did it kind of in the inverse.
He did great.
So we'll talk further.
We're going to talk further about what Brad's saying because he is kind of getting into the lesson a little bit. We'll talk. We will
He's
talk.
touching on it, but I do know what you're
I know what
talking
you're saying,
about.
too.
We'll get to that, okay? So honey, good job.
So, why did I spend time on reviewing multiplication? Why do you think that was so important? Because I was all excited about division. So why did I go into multiplication? You must be like, what is wrong with Mrs. Drake? What is she thinking? More, Sarah. Thank you. I have Lauren. No student, it's my phone.
Because division is like the opposite of multiplication.
It is. It's related to multiplication. It is. How is it related, Sarah? How do you think it's related?
You could have 3 times 5 is 15, like in the problem we just did, and then 15 divided by 3.
Good. Did everyone hear her?
5.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, so Suhani, repeat what she just said. If you heard her, then I want you to repeat what she just said.
She said like in the problem there's 3 times 5 which
Yes.
equals 15.
Okay.
And then in division there's 15 divided by 5 equals 3.
Good. So it is related. They are related facts, and we're going to talk about that today. That's part of what we are getting into today. So I'm very excited. That's why I spent a little time reviewing our multiplication, because you're going to see the connection. Lexi. We just switched it, didn't we? Exactly. Good. All right. Here we go. So let's talk division. So we're going to talk division as a fair share. How many of you ever heard of, how many of you like playing fair? Raise your hand if you like playing fair or when things are fair. Raise your hand if you like when things are fair and you get your fair share. Okay?
I don't really,
I just said raise your hand.
I don't have a brother or sister.
Just with anybody, with friends, with family members.
With dogs.
Play with my friends.
Okay, we're gonna-
usually in the pool.
We're going to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Good, thanks. Okay. So, fair share, good. So, division is kind of like fair share. We're going to talk about fair share. And what I mean by fair share is 1 for me, 1 for you. Not all for me and none for you. Okay, and that's what division is. So, we're going to talk about that here. So, yesterday, and this is kind of funny that this just happened, kind of fit right into my lesson. I couldn't believe it. Mr. Pierce, my buddy Mr. Pierce, bought a pack of 18 markers. And good thing, because my markers are getting pretty lame and weak here, right? So I need new markers anyway. So he's going to be really nice. He said, Mrs. Drake, you need some new markers here. It's pretty bad in here. So he wanted to share them with me. So he's going to be nice enough to share them with me later. So he's dividing them, those 18 markers, into 2 equal groups. So that when I get them, finally, if he really is serious and going to help me out and share with me, I'm going to have a bunch of new markers for making charts and drawing on the whiteboard and doing our things. So, do you want to know how many he gave me? Do you want to know how many he gave me?
Yeah, I know how many.
The answer was yes. I'm just kidding, no. Anyway, so this is what we're going to do. So let's kind of figure that out, okay? So what I want you to do, I want you to think about it this way. So we have 18 markers, and the chips that you happen to have in your cup are going to be the markers today, because Mr. Pierce is still holding on to those markers. He needs them for the morning. Maybe I'll get them this afternoon. I don't know. So these are your markers for today. So what I want you to do is I want you to take the chips out, and on your whiteboards, I want you to divide them into 2 equal groups. And that's all I'm telling you. And remember my thing. 1 for me, 1 for you. That might be an option. All I'm saying, but you can do it any way you want. But I want them in 2 equal groups. Any way you feel you need to do it.
So we're hoping Mr. Pierce is going to play
Yes.
fair.
Yeah, Mr. Pierce better play fair, because we do share a wall. So I hope he will play fair with me.
That's why we didn't go to Mr. McLeod.
Yeah, so you know Mr. McLeod and I might not play fair with each other.
Play
Yes.
fair.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We're basically sharing the room.
Go ahead. Are we supposed to have Go ahead.
2 equal groups. Make sure you have 18. If you have 18, did you drop one?
You can use any show
That could be the problem. You need 18. Oh, you have 19? Then put one back. Boys and girls, please make sure that you have only 18. If you do not, if you have more than 18, put one back. If you have less than 18, raise your hand. I will give you another one. Yes. How many? Count. You better count them.
2, 4, 6,
You have 18, so you gotta figure out how to divide them.
and
How
all
many do you have?
about
Count your total. So then you should be fine. So all you need is 18.
Wait, did we cover them?
Remember, your total boys and girls should be 18. And all I'm asking you to do is divide them into 2 equal groups so that it is fair.
3,
How hard?
4,
Oh, I have plenty. Oh, who needs one? William, you need one? Oh my goodness. I really counted really well too. This is not good. I think some dropped. Could be something in my room here.
When we're done, we'll check under our desk.
Oh, that's okay. That's all good.
was a Drake cat eat my snack?
What would be the answer to that right now? Thank you.
I divided them up into 9.
I'm hoping people can explain
That's
some
nice.
nice. I like that.
I've got snacks for you this time.
I'm gonna do a division thing.
I like it. I think that's
Can I copy your division thing?
No.
Please?
not yet. No, you're not gonna write anything yet, but we're gonna talk.
Wait.
So, I'm not asking you to write anything. I just wanted you to use your chips and make your 2 equal groups. No markers should be out. Nothing should be done. I want, basically, do me a favor. Hands up when you're done. So you're stretching, because you've been sitting for a little bit. All right, so this way I know I can move on. All right, here we go. We're doing the wave. That's what I'm saying, only the ones that are done. You could do a little wave, but that's it. All right, don't go crazy. Little wave. Okay, so I'm looking at a lot of ways here. Definitely looking at a lot of ways. I want you to take a minute while we're waiting for some friends and just look at each other's ways, because there are some differences here. Look at each other's. Are you missing one?
Yeah.
You don't have 18?
I dropped all my. I can't find it.
Yeah, she has 15.
Okay.
I have 2 in my hand.
Okay. I think we're good, right? All right. All right. Okay. So, boys and girls, I want you to look at your own whiteboard now. Can somebody tell me how many markers will I get if Mr. Pierce is playing fair? And how many markers will Mr. Pierce keep? Brooke? So you think we're each going to get 9 if Mr. Pierce is going to play fair? Okay. Thumbs up if you agree with Brooke. Okay. Brooke, how do you know that?
Because 9 plus 9 equals 18.
Okay.
And if you divide 18 evenly, then it equals 9.
Good. And I like how you use your math terms. If you divide 18 evenly or equally, it would equal 9. So what I'd like you to do, and I'm going to write, we divided 18, right? So 18 was what we started with. That was our total. That's what we had. Okay, so I want you, on your whiteboard, I want you to write 18. Okay? And I want you to, and I know you all know this, but in case you don't, this is the symbol for division. That's one of the symbols for division. That's the one we're going to use today. Okay, so put the 18, and you're going to write that
first.
The 18 always goes first, and we're going to relate it to subtraction, because remember in subtraction, which number always comes first, everybody?
Bigger.
In division, it's the same thing. The bigger number has to come first.
Let's write right here.
No, just because you want to divide, in order for me to be fair, I have to have more to divide to get, you know what I mean? If I'm going to divide, I want to have more to start with so I could divide it. That would be better. So 18 divided by, now how many groups did we divide it in again, everybody?
9.
Did we divide it into 9 groups? 2 groups. So now I want you to write down this so far. So 18 divided by 2. Can everyone do that on your whiteboard?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my tip.
And I want you to write that.
Really?
Okay. I want to stop for a minute. All right. So this is the unknown factor right here. This is the unknown factor. Just like what we did a couple days ago. The unknown factor. Well, how do we know what that unknown factor is? Do we know what that unknown factor is? Everybody?
Yes.
Yes. What's the unknown factor, everybody? 9. And what does that represent, that 9? Let's think about that. I have 18 markers. I divided them into what? 2 what?
2 groups.
Oh, so wait a minute. I'm getting this now. You're helping me out. I
Example
kind
2.
of already
Suppose
forgot.
Mr.
Do you
Pierce
believe
has
this?
50 markers in
This is the number of groups. So the unknown factor is the what? How much is in one group, or the
Sum. Groups.
It might be up on the board under the objective, maybe.
Oh.
Jack.
Size.
The 9, your unknown factor here, your answer is your size of your group. In this case, right?
The number in each group.
Okay? I want you to just keep that in mind. In this problem, that's what that means. Okay? So we took 18 markers, we divided them into 2 equal groups. We had 9 in each group. So that is the size of your groups. Okay? Is it about math? About this math? Perfect. Good job, Gabe. Awesome. Nice job. All right. Any questions here? Okay. You ready for one more?
Oh,
One more?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to change it up a little bit. Suppose, you're going to take your chips off. Just clear just clear it slightly. Don't make a big, huge mess and don't leave anything on the floor. Clear slightly off. And then I want you to wipe off your marker.
Yeah.
Oh, wipe it off.
I'm sliding.
Because I'm going to give you my favorite question of all, but I use the word suppose instead of what if. Suppose Mr. Pierce had only 15 markers, and he not only was going to share with me, but he also felt sorry for Mr. Walsh. Nope, just Mr. Walsh, because I still need them. So he was going to share now with Mr. Walsh and with me. So he was going to share fairly with 2 teachers. So now let's think about this one for a minute. This is a little tricky. I want you to use your chips now to show me that one. So now it's Mr. Pierce has 15 chips, and he's going to share them fairly with 2 other teachers. And thank you, Mrs. Anastasia, because we definitely need to underline the 15. And I know the smart board's not cooperating probably because I moved the cart,
Okay.
maybe.
Now I need.
So I want you to think about that one. And you can work with a partner and talk to a partner about it if you want to.
One and
you
two.
don't have to, but if that helps you,
I know.
talk with somebody about it first to help you.
What do you think, William?
Don't worry about it. That's not important. So it's sharing fairly with 2 other teachers.
That was easy.
So you only need 15.
I understood it. So here, have a
But no, you're not. But Mr. Pierce still has to get his share too. So I want you to think about that one. So now, how many teachers are? I don't want you to cover up. You don't cover up. You can talk to each other and share with each other. Well, so I want you to think about something. Well, maybe you can kind of like. I don't know. I can't really cover it up the way you did it.
I can't do it with my mercy. See? It's straight. Could we write it?
Not yet, because we are going to write the number sentence. So talk to each other. If you are confused or you feel like you're struggling, this is a little trickier. I changed it up on you a little bit. I played the what if game. Now you know why I don't really like the what if game sometimes, but here it is.
I love it.
The what if game is saying I changed it up.
I love it.
It's not only me and Mr. Pierce. I added Mr. Walsh to our little group. It's Mr. Pierce, Mr. Walsh, and me. Now what are you gonna do?
got it.
Oh, what are you doing? That's pretty good.
Why did I do that?
Why?
Because you each get 5 and it was still
Why? Good. Keep going. Okay, so Jaylee, I want you, if you have to label it, Mr. Pierce, Mrs. Drake, Mr. Walsh. And again, remember the one for me, one for you?
Let's just do initials.
So basically, this is what I would do. One for me, one for Mr. Pierce, one for Mr. Welsh, one for Mrs. Drake, one for me. That might be a way to work it out.
All I did is
Drake, I figured it out.
it was 15 because if it's 10, but you still have 5 more left, so you just give the other person 5, like the other 2 have 5. It would equal 4.
So good. So wait. So well, you know what I would do? So wait, put Drake. So forget the chips for now. I want you to make another column for Pierce. Don't worry about it. Just do P.
Right there.
Just do P for Pierce. Have a seat when I go to the bathroom
This
now.
is Drake. This is what I did at first to
And do
figure it out.
another one for Walsh.
This is how I did it at first to figure it out.
Okay, so now, do the one for me, one for you. One for Drake, one for Pierce, one for Walsh. And keep going till all 15. All 15 are used. Here, that'll work.
This is what me and him did at first.
Good. So I want you to share. I'm glad you're sharing that strategy with each other.
We just put 6 down. I did.
Okay.
No, never mind. We put 5. I thought we put 6.
Good. Keep going.
That's what we did at first grade.
Keep going. And that might be, and that's kind of division. Sometimes it's just as simple as one for me, one for you, one for you.
And there was forbidden love.
One for me, one for you, one for you.
And then,
That's all you do.
and then they had a church, and then there was a
I
huge
just have
party.
to add Mr.
And
Pearson.
then these two were both the leaders, and now they're
All right,
the
this
king.
table's ready.
Do you want me to make you this at recess?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are ready? You guys look good? You're ready?
Yep.
And then I'm gonna make
Oh,
myself
now
the one.
Because
look ready.
some for Mr. Pierce, and some for Mrs. Drake, and some for
It's a ballerina. Let's get away.
You understand why?
because
It's a battery.
because if
Oh, it's a bag?
Mr. Pierce
It's a battery.
All right, boys and girls, looks like most are ready. So we're back in 5. Back in 4.
So 9 for Mr. Wash, 9 for Mrs. Drake,
Back in 3.
9 for Mr. Pierce. No, everybody likes it, guys.
Back in 2. And back in 1. Okay. So I saw a couple interesting things. Some really got it pretty quickly. What was the change here? Can someone tell me what changed here? Because I think this was a couple little changes I did here. Jack, what changed?
See what happened to each other.
Okay, definitely the number changed. But
Madison, did you hear Jack? Because that's an important one. Say it again.
say it again. Okay. Okay, that's important. I changed your number on you to 15. 15 is a what kind of number? Odd or even? Odd. And, you know, can odd numbers be evenly divided?
Yes, some can.
By 2? Thank you. So let's talk about that one. So thank you. I didn't thank you, Mrs. A. So let's talk about that one. So then what was the other change? Colton. What did I do?
You put more teachers instead of one teacher.
Well, I added, how many teachers did I add?
More teachers than 2.
Good. I added one more teacher to the original how many?
2.
So how many teachers were sharing?
3.
3.
Wait, no way. It says 2.
It says 2 though, so how are you getting 3?
Mr. Pierce, Mrs. Drake, and Mr. Walsh.
Absolutely. And that's where we have to really read carefully because here's the wording. Mr. Pierce shared fairly. If he's sharing, he's not just giving them to me, he's getting his share also. So we have to include Mr. Pierce in the mix. He doesn't say, oh, Mrs. Drake, you're such a wonderful person. I'm giving them to you and Mr. Walsh now. I get nothing. He's still getting his share. So now it's divided by what, boys and girls? What do you think the groups are now? How many groups did you make, everybody? 3. Brooke, okay, go ahead, hon. Brooke, explain what you did.
I did 3 groups with 5 in, so 15 divided by 3 equals 5.
Perfect. Good.
They each get 5.
Good. So the unknown factor or the size of the groups is what?
5.
Everybody.
5.
15 divided by what?
By 3.
So
So
3
can,
equals 5.
can somebody explain at this table, Dylan, your table, why is it 5 again? I didn't quite hear it the first time. Why is it 5?
Because if you take 5 away 5
Because you have it perfectly. You did it perfectly.
Talk about Mr. Pierce and the other teachers.
Yes. Talk in terms of the teachers. What did you do?
I did 5 for each because 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15.
Okay.
So each teacher gets 5.
Okay. So you did it that way, which is fine. You did it perfectly. That's fine. So you knew based on what? What did you kind of use then? You used your. You kind of used. You divided, but you used your knowledge of what?
My mind.
Well, your mind, but. Thank you, Colton. You did though. You used multiplication. You used your knowledge of multiplication, which is really good to build on what you're gonna learn in division, which is awesome. Okay, good job. All right, I'm gonna ask you to put your chips away. Good job. Okay. Have a little moment. Should I go to the problem? No, it's not quite over. We got a few minutes. Should I go right to the paper, or should I do a little more on the board? Gotta go to the paper. Okay. All right, boys and girls, I want you've done such a great job. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to let you work, and you can keep the chips because you may want to use them if you need them. You don't have to, but they're going to be left on your desk as a math tool, not as a play tool. So if you don't need them, leave them where they are. Okay? So you're going to get a paper, and you're going to. It's 9 problems.
What?
9. I hope I didn't just hear that, but I'm going to pretend I didn't.
What are we doing?
You're going to do 9 problems. Okay, Mrs. A, do you need people with you? And then I'm going to probably take a couple with me.
I would like check.
Okay. Hold on, do not start. When you get your paper, eyes and ears, I want you to put your name on it first, and then if you're going with Mrs. A, then you go with Mrs. A and put your name on it.
I will not need this.
You're going to put your name on this paper.
Not all of them.
Oh, you're okay. Your paper's right there, hon.
When you get it.
Yes, but I might take a couple people myself, so. So your name goes on it. Okay, Dylan, I'm probably, I don't want you to work with a partner on this one because I don't know that you're gonna need it. I am probably gonna take Dylan with me. Payne, I don't want you doing it together. I want him, I think he's gonna, I just want to say to you guys, I'm gonna let you try to work a couple on your own. Dylan, Payne, I'm gonna have you come back with me if you need it. And then if you don't, I'm gonna release you. If you need it, I'm gonna let you try a couple. If you need it, then you're gonna come back. Okay, come here, Dylan. Dylan, Payne, we're just gonna sit right here. Kind of, I don't know how this is going to work, we'll see. Where do you wanna go? You know, let's go on the carpet. Here. You got your whiteboards? Bring your whiteboard. Okay. All right, so let's look at a couple. And, okay. All right, so
There are.
okay. You know what? Boys and girls that are working, you're doing a great job. What I'd like you to do, if you finish, check your work over, and then what I want you to do is find someone at your table who's also finished to check your answers with. Okay? So all I'm asking you to do is check your answers with someone at your table once you are done. We're only going to be probably working for about 5 to 8 minutes on this. It's not going to take long. You probably got about 5 to 8 minutes. Okay. All right.
Can I stay here?
Nope.
You are solid.
So let's get number 1.
I'll check it.
Actually, no, I'm going to go backwards. Do number 9.
Take your
I'm going to
chips.
go backwards.
Are those your chips? Do it now.
Oh, my eraser too.
Okay. So let's see how you guys are doing.
Butterfly.
You don't feel solid, Declan? You feel like it's a little tricky? So let's see how you do it.
We're skipping around. So number 9.
You know what, Madison? Do number 2 second. It's next to number 1. Oh, did you do number 1 yet? Okay. Do you feel like it's hard? How did you do
I
number 1?
want you to write a division sentence to show.
And are you getting stuck on number 1? Yeah. Okay, let's do it together. So, I want Declan to read it again.
Divide 14 flowers into
I put it on my table.
equal groups. There are 3
No.
flowers.
Yeah, blank flowers in each group.
Okay. So, Jaylee, you need your chips. We'll get your chips because we're gonna go together. Okay. So, how many what is the biggest number?
I got marker because this one doesn't let you walk.
Right division?
Right now we don't need the marker, so you can just put it down.
So how many total butterflies?
We don't need it. So,
I need help.
There are
Count them up. So that might be, is that the first number you put down?
There are big apples in each basket.
And then I want you to come up with the next two numbers. That's all.
I don't understand this one.
put the paper over here and put 14 chips on your board. Are you sure that's 14, Haley? Let's check it out.
It actually can be also
So Monty, Sarah, you done? Yeah. I want you guys to get an iPad. Okay. And I want you basically to kind of take this lesson and see if you can.
Does everybody have 14? Okay, so let's put these chips so we don't get confused back in your cup.
Teach it, use the paper,
Okay.
use what you gotta do. If you wanna use the chips,
Right.
try to do
So Devin, do you have 14 chips?
I know.
Is that 14?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So read the next part of the Bible. It says divide 14 flowers. Okay, so we're pretending these are what? Jaylee, what are these? They are flowers. Okay? Into two equal groups. There are blank flowers in each group.
And it's 14.
Read this part for me, Jaylee. This part right here. There are blank.
Are you leaving?
No, I want you to read this. There are blank.
Okay. When you're done, I want you to check it with
Each.
another.
There are blank flowers in each group.
Check it with another person. So how many total butterflies?
I counted.
Okay. How did you do this, Declan? Explain that to me.
I followed this, like putting the pattern, so I can have 14.
Oh, okay. So how did you divide it? How many groups are there?
2.
2. How many groups are there? Let's divide yours. Can you divide yours into 2 equal groups like Declan did? Make them even. Here's what I want for you. Can you give me this whiteboard?
Are you done?
Yeah. Ooh, nice flat. Nice. No. Can I have your marker?
I'll check it with you
I want you to take that. Is that 14 exactly? Are there any chips in there? Okay, good. All right, so I want you to break it up and putting sharing it evenly. Here, Madison, on that board. You done? Good. Okay, so read the picture again. There are blank flowers in each group. How many flowers in each group?
Wait.
But each piece is one of them. So there's blank in this one and there's blank in this one.
1, 2, 3, 5.
Is she right? Did you hear what Jamie said? No. So ask her to repeat it.
It's 12.
She's counting it. There's 7 flowers in each group. Do you agree with her? Oh, okay. So there's a total of 14. But when you divide it into 2 even groups, there's how many? 6. Okay. Does that make sense to you? Is that tricky? Okay, let's try it again with this one. I think you might get a better idea of what's next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so say I have
7 flowers in each group.
That's right. I want everybody's eyes here. Madison, read what you have. Read 7 each. So say I have 12.
Yeah, but you know what? All we have to do is say that
Now I want everybody's eyes here. I want pencils down.
Jinx. You owe me you owe me
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
7.
call us back for one little quick lesson. No, we're gonna actually. I might actually bring you back on the cover, but hold on. Let me go. Okay.
Madison's here.
Meet me back because you've got number 9 and that's the one I wanted you to have.
I want to stay right where you are. There are 12.
No, Sarah, we're gonna do our own.
Starting with 12.
Give me the
I
title.
want 2 equals 3.
Okay. All right. Guys, I need to do a quick check. I have about a couple minutes left before I need to step out. I want to end the lesson, at least for today, because we're not finished. But is there? Do most of you have number 9 done? I guess that's my question. No. Okay. So let me just at least let me do this then. Eyes and ears. I need everyone's eyes and ears. In fact, hands are up. Let's do a little hands up. Eyes on me. Hands up, eyes on me. Without talking. Hands up, eyes on me. Okay. So let's just talk briefly about what we learned today. So let me give you the scenario, okay? And we're going to continue. We're not finished yet. We probably are going to extend this probably to tomorrow, and we'll continue with the lesson because there's a few more things I probably want to touch upon. But, you know, you get off the school bus today. Mom and Dad ask you, or just whoever gets you off the bus, what did you do today in math? What might you tell them you learned today in math? What are you going to say to them this afternoon or this evening when they ask you, or if they ask you that question, Vincenzo? What about division, though? That's a whole broad category. What did you specifically learn today about division? Is there anything specific? And if you need help, call on somebody else to piggyback off of what you said. What do you think? Go ahead, Jack. What did you specifically learn?
To understand the meaning of the unknown as the size of the group in division.
So could we say that you did learn what the unknown factor was?
Yes.
In some cases. And we do have more work to do. But we're starting. We're getting there. Can anyone, Nico, your hand was up. What would you tell your parent?
I would tell them that I learned how to do division.
Okay. Did anyone kind of get the connection between the multiplication and division today?
Yeah.
What would you say, Brooke?
I would say how we learned division and how multiplication and division are alike.
And how are they alike?
They're like because if you do multiplication and you do, like, for example, 3 times 2,
Okay.
and it answers 6.
Mm-hmm.
In division, you do 6 divided by 3 equals 2.
Good job. Perfect. And that's kind of part of what I wanted to get out today. Like I said, we are not finished today. You guys did an awesome job. Very proud of you. We're not done. We will finish. There's more I wanted to do today. We ran out of time. It happens. It's all good.